So I've been asked probably 1,000 times now to talk about Fallout 76. Oh my god, Optimus, what do you think about Fallout 76? Well, I have a lot of thoughts on it, and while I haven't played it yet, I've been an avid fan of the Fallout series for, a pretty good majority of my life now. I started playing with Fallout 3 on the Xbox 360 with my dad. He bought me New Vegas, one of my favorite games of all time. I got Fallout 4 right at release, and while that just could have been so much better. I mean, for what it was worth, I guess I enjoyed it. But Fallout 76 is very different. This is not a traditional Fallout game for many reasons. I think we all know that by now, but I really want to talk about it because, well, the beta is starting soon. The game comes out in about a month, and, well, you guys have been asking for it, so here's my unfiltered opinion thus far on Fallout 76, and why it actually worries me, because believe me, I am not going into Fallout 76 thinking this is going to be a great game. And I hate to say that because I really don't want to, okay? I really don't want to hate this game. I really don't want to have to go into this game worried. But I have to, because everything so far is pointing me in the direction of, oh my god, this is going to flop. This is going to be a terrible game, and it's going to ruin Fallout. And a big reason behind that is because Bethesda is the ones making it. Obsidian is not making Fallout anymore, unfortunately, so Bethesda has made 2 of the 3 Fallouts that I've actually played, avidly. I have played some of the first ones and stuff on Steam. I'm just not really that interested in them, honestly. I think it's the graphics primarily. I don't know, maybe I'll revisit them in the future, but the graphical style is what's really killing it for me, I'd say. I just don't like the top-down view and stuff of some of the ones that I've played, but so I played 3, and, as a kid I really enjoyed it, but I haven't played it, as an adult now to see if it really holds up.
I'm hungry, and that stupid robot destroyed the cake. Give me that sweet roll you got from Old Lady Palmer. Oh yeah? We'll see about that. I'm sure anyone will be sorry, you little nonsense.
But I remember New Vegas. I remember it pretty well. I was only, I think, 11 when that game came out, and I still play it sometimes to this day. I had it on PS3, I rebought it again on Steam, and I just enjoy playing it. It's a good game. And 4 is the one that I've probably put the most time into because there was just so much more to do, I'd say. Like, I just spent a lot of time primarily just building settlements. But when Bethesda makes Fallout, the problem is that, number 1, it feels way too rushed. The gameplay feels really sloppy. It's like, let's take Fallout 4, for example. It's the newest one. We've all probably played that one, so even though they had plenty of time to make this game, right, the graphics are super outdated. They look like crap, even for 2015. They keep trying to run on this goddamn outdated engine that needs to be severely upgraded. They need to just build a new engine, in my opinion. So the graphics look terrible. It runs horribly, especially on console. It runs a lot better on PC, I will say, but even then, on the highest settings and everything, it still could look, wonders better. This is not an indie game. This is a AAA franchise. So, while graphics obviously don't mean everything, I mean, come on now. And the RPG elements in Fallout 4 were extremely weak. The world in Fallout 4 just feels extremely dead. And of course, it's a Fallout game. It's after a bunch of nuclear war, right? So, obviously, the world should feel somewhat dead. But in Fallout 4, if you're not in Diamond City, there's almost nothing really to do. You can go scavenge for power armor, look for the bottleheads, maybe sometimes you'll go around and there might be a fight or something you can break up, like 3 or 4 in the whole game. Maybe you run into like 2 or 3 enemies or something that you have to kill. But other than that, there's literally nothing else to do. The side quests are extremely repetitive. If I ever have to hear another settlement needs your help once again in my life, I'm gonna probably end up killing myself. All of the dialogue in the game is shittily written, and on top of that, the dialogue choices that you as the player have are generic, weak, and give virtually no option to expand on the whole dialogue whatsoever. The perk system in the game wasn't really that great. There was like maybe 20 useful perks out of this huge chart of them. I felt myself more often or not just going into this little menu, and when I'm spending up my skill points, I'm pretty much just buying another point on intelligence or stamina until I have that maxed out, and then I would just go pretty much for all the stuff that would make me the most money. But a lot of those things just didn't need to be there. They were kind of worthless. So when Bethesda makes a game in comparison to Obsidian, who has amazing RPG elements. Well, I'm also comparing New Vegas because that's the one I know the most. The game had amazing RPG elements. The world felt alive even outside of the major areas. There was plenty to do. Sure, the graphics kinda sucked, but even then, the gameplay really made up for it, while Fallout 4's gameplay, in my opinion, didn't really make up that much for it. So when Obsidian is clearly better at developing Fallout games, and then you have Bethesda taking such a reach out of what is Fallout and to this whole online experience idea, they're removing some elements in the game, including NPCs, there's a lot to worry about, because this has just sounded more and more like a shit show as it goes on. And pretty much everything you do is going to be just basically against other real players and with your friends. I like the idea of there being an online Fallout game, but this is just stepping so far out of what is Fallout that it scares the shit out of me. I understand people are afraid, you know, people like playing Fallout because, yes, it is a solo game, but at that, it's an amazing game to play by yourself. I'm not too sure I'm going to enjoy Fallout Online, even though I've always thought it'd be a cool idea, especially when private servers probably won't be available at launch. And the fact that there is no NPCs really is pretty much killing the idea of the RPG elements, because I severely doubt that if you're going to base all the RPG elements around playing against other, you know, real-life people, that everyone's just going to be like, well, you know what, we got to be nice and use dialogue, you know? We gotta use this dialogue to figure out what's going on here. You're taking the best part of NPCs in Fallout out and then putting it in the hands of other players and just hoping that it works. And on top of that, I'm really worried about how Fallout 76 is going to approach the lore of the series, because Fallout is one of the only series that I actually pay any attention to the lore. This series has such an amazing story and lore to it that it's just, it's easy for me to pick up, at least for me. But with an online multiplayer in which dialogue is pretty much being left up to the players once again, and there's going to be no real NPCs, and all these quests are just going to be based on online experience and things like that, how are we really going to have any lore given to us in this game? And this was another big problem I had with Fallout 4. The story and everything behind it sucked. Because, like in New Vegas, okay, you had all this. You had the Caesar's Legion, the NCR, and everybody fighting for control of the entire area, just trying to, you know, basically play territorial games. They're fighting it out for New Vegas, they're fighting it out for the Hoover Dam and everything. And with all of this going on, with the entire world around you pretty much at war, you're just this player in the middle of it who's trying to find the guy who shot him in the head, you know, before the story really starts to kick off. Fallout 4, which, while worse overall, still had some sort of story behind it, and it had a little bit of lore and everything built in there, of course, because, like, you had all kinds of different stuff to really explore. Diamond City and everything, and then you had all these characters like Valentine and everything to explore around with, get to know them and everything. And at the end of it, you know, you're just this guy who escapes from the vault looking for your lost son who was kidnapped in front of your eyes as they killed your spouse, right? And you have to try and find this kid. And of course there's the Brotherhood of Steel and the Railroad and all that stuff, right? And the Institute is a big part of the whole story, so there's a little bit behind it, you know? There's a little bit more in-depth about the lore. But in Fallout 76, I don't really see much ability for them to bring this out into full extent, because if you're gonna make a game all about the lore and everything, and you're gonna make a game that has all these great RPG elements and everything, why even make it into an online game? Because most people are just gonna go around just dicking everybody over, killing them, taking their shit, you know, launching the nukes out of the silos and blowing everybody's stuff up. Most people aren't gonna want to just run around and help on quests and stuff unless it benefits them. There's gonna be a shit ton of griefing, and I just don't see how it's gonna really work out. In the end, at least right now, of course, we haven't played the game, but it's looking bad, okay? At least in my opinion, and I've seen a lot of other Fallout fans who are just worried. I mean, all we really know about the story till this point, of course, is that the game's basically a prequel to previous games, takes place in 2102, takes place in West Virginia, and you're exiting the vault on this day, and you're gonna try and just basically rebuild everything, and you're gonna try and, you know, repopulate the world. But as it really appears right now, Fallout 76 looks like it's just honestly there to be a cash grab. It's only being made as an online game. That way they have an excuse for microtransactions. They tried pulling that in Fallout 4, but you would never catch me buying any skins or weapons or anything out of their store, especially on PC when I can just mod that shit in. Mods on consoles were terrible. Of course, I mean, that's to be expected with console, but in this game, it's going to make a lot more sense. You're probably not going to be able to mod shit since it's going to be all online. So a cash grab, all the RPG elements seem to have been pretty much destroyed in favor of this online experience. The game probably really won't explore any lore that deep, and if it does, that would be a surprise. And overall, the game is honestly, it's just being made by Bethesda, who at this point, they're not the best Fallout developers, okay? I wish Obsidian had this franchise going forward, because we would have gotten some excellent games out of them. I mean, nothing like New Vegas probably, but I'll take something that is, you know, as half as good as New Vegas than something like Fallout 4, you know, because Fallout 4 probably wasn't even a fourth of what New Vegas reached, you know, in quality and in gameplay and in story and in all these RPG elements. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I really grow to enjoy Fallout 76, but right now I'm really worried, man, as a fan of the franchise. I love these games. I got posters of it all over my wall, but Todd Howard, I don't know if I trust him. Seems like everything Bethesda does now is just out of spite and jealousy of how well Obsidian did New Vegas. So, you guys wanted my opinion on 76? You got it. So, if you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here, follow me on Twitter @SubToOptimus, join the Discord down below. If you'd like to support my content on Patreon for some perks, please consider doing so down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, holding out a little bit of hope, I guess, for Fallout 76, but just worried, and signing out.